I was pulling a 6-year-old girl from a burning bedroom when my phone exploded with messages. My wife was in labor, but I'd never seen her pregnant. The house was a furnace, smoke thick enough to chew. I had the girl, Emma, they said her name was, wrapped in my coat, her face pressed against my chest. Captain Reynolds was screaming in my ear through the radio. "Cooper, we've got 30 seconds before the second floor collapses. Get out now!" But my phone wouldn't stop. Buzz, buzz, buzz. I made it to the ladder, handed Emma down to Martinez. Her mother was sobbing, reaching. The medics took her. I pulled off my mask, gulped air that tasted like gasoline and salvation. My phone was still going. 17 missed calls, 23 texts. Patricia Brennan, our neighbor, Daniel Jennifer, in labor. Come now. Sarah from 2 doors down. Ambulance at your house. Unknown number, Mr. Cooper. This is Newton Memorial. Your wife is en route. I stared at the screen. Jennifer, in labor. My hands were shaking, and not from the smoke. How do you stay a hero when the person you saved your heart for destroys it, and everyone watched it happen but you? The drive to the hospital took 12 minutes. I don't remember any of them. Captain Reynolds told me to go, his hand on my shoulder, his eyes worried in a way that had nothing to do with the fire. Take care of your family, Cooper. But when I saw the timestamps on those messages, I realized something was wrong. Very wrong. Jennifer had texted me that morning, sent me a picture of her smoothie, green, thick, the kind she'd been drinking for months as part of her weight loss journey. She'd been so proud. Down 15 pounds since January, she said, fitting into her old jeans, glowing. Not pregnant, never pregnant. I pulled into the ER lot doing 50. My turnout gear was still on, reeking of smoke. People stared. I didn't care. Jennifer Cooper, I told the nurse. My wife, they said she's in labor. The nurse looked at me, then at her computer. Room 347, maternity ward, 3rd floor. Sir, you'll need to... I was already running. The elevator took forever. I watched the numbers climb. 1, 2, 3... My reflection in the steel doors, soot-streaked face, hair standing up, eyes wild. I looked like I'd been through hell. I had no idea hell was just starting. The maternity ward was all soft colors and gentle music. Pastel pink, baby blue. Someone had put up paper butterflies. It smelled like antiseptic and flowers. A nurse smiled at me. "Congratulations, are you?" "Room 357. Her smile faltered. "Down the hall, last door on the right. But, sir, you might want to..." I didn't wait. The door was open. I heard voices. Patricia Brennan, our 62-year-old neighbor, who baked us cookies every Christmas, who had known me since we moved in 8 years ago, who called me son. She was standing next to the bed, her face pale, her hands twisted together. Sarah Mitchell was there too, and Tom Chen from across the street. All 3 of them looked at me like I'd caught them at a crime scene. And in the bed, holding a baby, a fully formed pink screaming baby, was Jennifer. She looked up. Our eyes met. "Daniel," she said. Her voice was soft, careful, like she was talking to someone on a ledge. "You're here." I couldn't speak. I walked closer. The baby was tiny, wrapped in a hospital blanket, white with pink and blue stripes, dark hair, little fists waving. "It's a girl," Jennifer said. She was smiling, actually smiling. Surprise. Patricia looked at the baby, then at her watch. Her face went white. I don't know how long I stood there. 30 seconds? A year. Time had stopped making sense. "A girl," I repeated. My voice sounded far away. "I know." Jennifer's smile was bright, too bright. "I can't believe it either. She came so fast, Daniel. I was doing yoga in the living room, and my water broke and..." "When?" The word came out flat, hard. "What? When were you pregnant, Jennifer?" The room went quiet. The baby stopped crying, like even she knew to listen. Jennifer laughed, high and nervous. "Daniel, what are you..." "You texted me this morning. Sent me a picture of your smoothie. You were wearing that tight green tank top, the one that shows everything." I stepped closer. My boots were leaving black marks on the clean floor. "You weren't pregnant this morning." I've been hiding it. I wanted to surprise you, and you can't hide 9 months." Patricia cleared her throat. "Daniel, maybe we should... How far along is she?" I looked at the nurse standing by the monitor. Young, maybe 25, Ponytail, name tag said. Amanda. The baby, how far along? Amanda glanced at Jennifer, then back at me. Full term. She's healthy, good weight, no complications. How far along? 38 weeks, give or take. She's about 8 pounds, 6 ounces, 21 inches. I did the math. 9 months, 38 weeks. I counted backward on my fingers, right there in front of everyone. 38 weeks ago, I'd been on a 72-hour shift, 3-alarm fire at a warehouse. I'd come home on a Tuesday. We'd had dinner, leftover pasta. Jennifer had been tired, she said, went to bed early. I'd fallen asleep on the couch watching the game. One night, one dinner, one couch, no sex. We hadn't had sex in, I tried to remember, weeks before that, maybe a month. We'd both been busy. She had her gym routine, her trainer, her me time. I had the station, the shifts, the calls. Sir, Amanda was watching me. Are you okay? The nurses kept saying, full term. Perfect health, but that was impossible. I looked at Patricia. She was crying, tears running down her soft grandmother face, the face I'd trusted for 8 years. Did you know? She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. Daniel, did you know? Her voice broke. I suspected. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to. You suspected. I laughed. It didn't sound like me. You suspected my wife was pregnant, didn't tell me, helped her deliver the baby, and you suspected. Sarah spoke up, her voice small. Daniel, we didn't know what to do. We thought maybe what? Maybe it was mine? Maybe she'd magically gotten pregnant through a wall. I turned to Jennifer. She was holding the baby close now, protective, her eyes wide. When did you know? Daniel, please, not here. When did you know? The baby started crying again. Sharp, wailing cries that filled the room. Jennifer's face crumpled. I found out in April. I was going to tell you, but you were working so much, and I didn't know how. And then time just... April, I stared at her. You knew in April. It's December. You knew for 8 months. She didn't answer. I looked at the baby, really looked. Dark hair, lots of it. Jennifer's blonde. I'm blonde. Dark eyes. Or they seemed dark in this light. Button nose, pink skin, wrinkled and perfect. She didn't look like me. I'd been home exactly once in the window for conception. One night. I pulled out my phone, scrolled back through my calendar. September, August, July. Shift schedules color-coded. Red for 24s, blue for 48s, green for days off. I counted the green. 3 days off in August, 1 I'd spent at my mother's funeral, 1 I'd been so exhausted I'd slept 16 hours, 1 we'd fought about what? Her trainer, Ryan something, the guy who'd moved in next door, the house with the for rent sign that finally came down last January. Young guy, maybe 26, 27. Fit. Jennifer had been taking sessions with him, paying him cash because the gym membership wasn't enough. We'd fought because I said we couldn't afford a personal trainer. She'd cried, said I didn't support her goals. I'd apologized, slept on the couch. July, 4 days off. 1 I'd worked overtime anyway, pulling a double. The other 3, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if we'd had sex. I couldn't remember the last time I'd really looked at my wife. I looked at her now. She'd been wearing loose clothes for months, flowy tops, oversized hoodies. She'd said it was part of her weight loss journey, hiding the before until she hit her goal. She'd been documenting everything in a journal, pink leather, the kind you buy at Target with motivational quotes on the cover. Your only limit is you. She showed me progress pictures every week, baggy gym clothes, always from the same angle, never her stomach straight on. I'd believed her. I'd believed every word. If you've ever ignored a gut feeling because you wanted to trust someone, type, I should have known, in the comments. Sometimes the truth whispers before it screams. She'd been documenting her weight loss for 8 months, except she'd been gaining a baby. The journal was at home, on her nightstand. I'd seen her writing in it this morning, before my shift, before the fire, before the world caught flames. Day 247, feeling great. Morning smoothie giving me so much energy. Nausea must be from the detox ingredients, totally normal, down another pound this week. Except it wasn't detox nausea, it was morning sickness. She'd known. Since April, she'd known. And she'd written a lie every single day for 8 months. I want a paternity test. The words came out cold, certain. Jennifer's head snapped up. What? You heard me? Daniel, you're being ridiculous. You're in shock. You just came from a fire. You're not thinking. I'm thinking clearly for the first time in months. I looked at Amanda. How do I order a paternity test? Amanda looked like she wanted to disappear. You'd need to speak with the hospital administrator, and both parents would have to consent, and I consent. Jennifer? She stared at me. The baby was quiet now, sleeping against her chest, tiny mouth open, completely unaware that her existence was about to blow up 2 lives, maybe 3. Jennifer, do you consent to a paternity test? This is humiliating, she whispered. Do you consent? Her eyes went dead, just like that. The fear, the tears, the desperation, gone, replaced by something flat and cold and utterly alien, and I knew. Before any test, before any results, before any proof, I knew. Her eyes went dead, and I knew. Before any test, I knew. She said yes. What choice did she have? Patricia was crying harder now. Sarah had left the room. Tom was staring at his shoes like they held the secrets of the universe. The nurse, Amanda, was typing furiously on her tablet, probably calling someone, anyone, to deal with this mess. I walked to the window, looked out at the parking lot 3 floors below. My truck was still there, covered in ash, surrounded by minivans and sedans with baby seats. Normal families having normal days. Fathers meeting their daughters for the first time with joy instead of ice in their veins. Behind me, Jennifer spoke. Why would you humiliate me like this? I didn't turn around. Humiliate you? In front of everyone. Patricia's like family, and you just... Patricia knew. I turned. Didn't you, Patricia? Our neighbor couldn't meet my eyes. They all knew, didn't they? The whole street. Everyone except me. Jennifer shifted the baby. Daniel, you're being paranoid. Am I? I walked back to the bed, leaned down, looked her straight in the face. Tell me, right now, is she mine? Silence. 5 seconds that lasted 100 years. And then, so quiet I almost missed it? I don't know. The DNA test took 3 days, 72 hours of living in a house that felt like a crime scene. Jennifer came home with the baby on day 2. I was at the station. When I got back, there were balloons on the mailbox. Pink. Someone, probably Patricia, trying to pretend everything was normal, had put a stork sign in the yard. It's a girl! I took them down. All of them. Shoved them in the garage next to the recycling bins. Inside, Jennifer had set up a bassinet in our bedroom. The baby was sleeping. Sophie and Olivia were sitting on the couch, quiet, their eyes too big, too worried. They knew something was wrong. Kids always know. Daddy? Sophie was 10, observant, protective. She looked at me the way you look at something breakable. Is the baby okay? The baby's fine. Then why are you sad? I couldn't answer. I just hugged them both. Held them until Olivia squirmed and said I was squishing her. 7 years old and still young enough to think squishing was the worst thing that could happen. Jennifer stayed in the bedroom. We didn't talk. What was there to say? I slept on the couch. On the 3rd day, my phone rang. Unknown number, Newton Memorial Hospital. Mr. Cooper, this is Dr. Sarah Chen from the genetics lab. Your test results are ready. Would you like to pick them up or should we mail them? I'll come now. I was in my truck before I hung up. The genetics lab was in the basement. White walls, fluorescent lights. The kind of cold that has nothing to do with temperature. Dr. Chen was waiting. 50 maybe, with graying hair and kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. She handed me a manila envelope. Heavy paper. Official. Would you like me to go over the results with you? No. I opened it right there. My hands were steady. That surprised me. The document was 3 pages. Dense text, genetic markers, probability charts. I skipped to the last page, the only page that mattered. Paternity test. Results. Alleged father, Daniel Michael Cooper. Mother, Jennifer Lynn. Cooper, child, baby girl. Cooper, DOB, December 7th, 2024. Conclusion. Based on analysis of 16 genetic markers, the probability of paternity is 0.0%. Daniel Michael Cooper is excluded as the biological father. 0. Not unlikely, not low probability. 0.00%. I read it 3 times. The words didn't change. The numbers stayed the same. 0, 0%, not low, impossible. Dr. Chen was watching me. Mr. Cooper, I'm so sorry. If you need resources, counseling services, we have... Who else could have access to these results? Only you and Mrs. Cooper, and the court, if subpoenaed. We take privacy very seriously. Good. I folded the papers, put them back in the envelope. Thank you. I walked out, made it to my truck, sat in the driver's seat. And then I broke. Not crying, not yelling, just breaking. Like something inside me cracked clean through. I put my head on the steering wheel. The leather was cold. The parking lot was empty. No one to see Daniel Cooper, decorated firefighter, veteran, father of 2, possibly only 2, fall apart. I don't know how long I sat there. Eventually my phone buzzed. Text from Patricia. Daniel, honey, can we talk? Please? I stared at the message. Patricia, who'd been at the hospital, who'd suspected, who'd cried and said she didn't know what to do. Patricia, who'd watched this happen. I texted back, tomorrow, your house, noon. She replied immediately, I'll make coffee. I'm so sorry, son. I didn't answer. That night, I showed Jennifer the results. She was in the bedroom, nursing the baby. The scene should have been beautiful. Mother and child. Golden lamplight. Peaceful. It made me sick. I dropped the envelope on the bed. DNA results. She looked up. Her face didn't change. And 0%. She's not mine. Silence. The baby kept nursing. Little sucking sounds, completely oblivious. I see, Jennifer said finally. That's it? I see? What do you want me to say, Daniel? How about the truth? How about who the father is? How about why you lied for 8 months? She shifted the baby. I didn't lie. You didn't lie. I laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. You hid an entire pregnancy. You told me you were losing weight while you were growing a baby. You wrote in a journal every day documenting fake progress. But you didn't lie. I didn't know for sure it wasn't yours. Bullshit. The word came out hard, sharp. The baby flinched. You knew. That's why you hid it. That's why you wore baggy clothes and canceled our anniversary dinner and spent every free minute at the gym with your trainer, with Ryan. Her eyes flickered just for a second. I saw it. It's Ryan, isn't it? The guy next door. Your personal trainer, the one you've been paying cash to work out with for 11 months. Daniel? Is it Ryan's baby? She looked down at the baby, adjusted the blanket. I need you to leave. You're upsetting her. I'm upsetting her? I'm upsetting her? I wasn't yelling. I should have been yelling. Instead, my voice went quiet, cold. Get a lawyer, Jennifer, a good one. Because I'm taking Sophie and Olivia, and you're never seeing them without supervision again. I walked out. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, Patricia Brennan opened her door before I could knock. She looked like she'd aged 10 years. Eyes red, face pale, hair uncombed. She was wearing the same cardigan she'd had on at the hospital. Daniel, her voice cracked. Come in, please. Her house smelled like coffee and cinnamon. She'd made cookies, snickerdoodles, my favorite. They were on a plate on the coffee table, next to 2 mugs. I sat, didn't touch the cookies. Patricia sat across from me, twisted her hands together. I don't know where to start. Start with when you knew. She closed her eyes. March. 9 months ago. You knew in March? I suspected in March. I saw her coming back from a run, and her shirt. It rode up for just a second, and I thought I saw a bump, but she pulled it down so fast, and I told myself I was seeing things. But you kept watching. Yes. She looked at me, tears spilling over. I kept watching, and every week I saw more. The way she walked, the way she held herself, the loose clothes, the canceled plans. Daniel, she stopped coming to book club in April, said she was too busy with her fitness journey. Jennifer, who never missed book club. Why didn't you tell me? I tried. I called you in May, remember? I said we should have dinner, the 3 of us, catch up. You said you were working doubles all week. I called again in June. You were at that training conference. I called in July. You never said anything about Jennifer being pregnant. Because what if I was wrong? She was sobbing now. What if I accused her and I was wrong and I destroyed your marriage over nothing? What if it was a tumor or weight gain or she was fucking the neighbor and carrying his baby? Patricia flinched. I'd never cursed in front of her before, never raised my voice. She looked at me like I was a stranger. Maybe I was. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry. I should have told you. I was a coward." "You weren't the only one who knew, were you?" She shook her head. "Sarah saw. She lives 2 doors down. She has that Ring doorbell. She saw Ryan going into your house when you were at work." My blood went cold. "How many times?" "Daniel, how many times, Patricia?" She handed me a USB drive, black plastic. Cheap, the kind you get in a 10-pack. She'd labeled it in silver Sharpie. "I'm sorry. I've been saving these for months. I'm so sorry." I drove home, went straight to my office, the spare bedroom I'd converted into a workspace for when I did paperwork from the station. Locked the door, plugged in the USB, folders organized by date, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 11 months. I clicked February, Ring doorbell footage. Sarah's house has a perfect view of our driveway. Timestamp, 6:47 a.m., February 14th. My truck backing out of the driveway, headed to the station for a 24-hour shift. And at 7:02 a.m., Ryan Mitchell walking up our driveway, young, fit, wearing gym clothes. He knocked on the door. Jennifer answered. He went inside. I clicked to 8:15 p.m., same day. Ryan leaving. 2 hands up, waving like they were having a normal conversation. He's laughing. My shift ended at 7 a.m. the next morning. He'd been inside my house for over 12 hours. I clicked through the files. March, April, May. Different dates, same pattern. Ryan arriving 30 minutes after I left for shift. Ryan leaving 30 minutes before I came home. My truck backing out. Ryan walking in. Like clockwork. I started counting. Made a spreadsheet. Date, time in, time out, duration. 47 visits. 47 times Ryan Mitchell had been inside my house while I was at work. And Jennifer had let him in every single time. The ultrasound was dated 8 months ago. She'd known since week 12. She'd lied for 32 weeks. I kept digging, found more. Text screenshots. Sarah must have seen them somehow. Maybe Jennifer left her phone on the counter near a window. The resolution was terrible, but I could read enough. Ryan, miss you already, Jennifer. He's on a 48. We have time. Ryan, your place or mine? Jennifer, mine. Girls are at school. He'll never know. He's too busy playing hero. The timestamp, September 3rd. The day I'd pulled a family of 4 from an overturned van on I-95, made the local news. Jennifer had texted me that night. So proud of you, babe. My hero. While texting Ryan, he'll never know. He's too busy playing hero. I found the gym logs next. Someone, probably Patricia's daughter, who worked at the front desk at Jennifer's gym, had printed them, highlighted every entry. Jennifer Cooper, 437 sign-ins from January through November. Ryan Mitchell, 437 sign-ins from January through November. Same times, same days, for 11 months. They didn't even try to hide it. No, that was wrong. They did hide it. From me. While the whole neighborhood watched. I was still going through the files when I heard it. Crying. Sophie. I yanked the door open. She was standing in the hallway, her face red and splotchy, her whole body shaking. Sophie, what? I'm sorry. She collapsed, just folded in on herself, sitting on the floor, sobbing. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I dropped beside her. Hey, what's wrong? Are you hurt? Is Olivia? She said if we told, you'd leave us. The words exploded out of her, 10 years old and carrying a weight no child should carry. She said if we told about Mr. Ryan, you'd leave us like you leave for fires. But you come back from fires, Dad. You always come back. You wouldn't leave us, right? You wouldn't leave us? Here's the question. If you were Daniel's neighbor, would you have told him? Or stayed quiet to avoid drama? There's no right answer. But think about it. I held her, right there on the hallway floor, held my daughter while she sobbed into my shirt. I wouldn't leave you, I said. My voice was shaking. Never, not ever. You and Olivia are my girls. Nothing changes that. Nothing. Promise? I promise. With my whole heart. She cried harder, like she'd been holding it in for months and finally could let it go. When she calmed down, I asked, "How long did you know?" "Since summer." She wiped her nose on her sleeve. "I came home early from Emma's house. Her mom got sick, and Mr. Ryan was here, with Mom, in your bedroom." Ice filled my veins. "Did he hurt you?" No, he just... They were surprised. Mom said he was helping her move furniture, but there wasn't any furniture moved, and she looked scared, like we'd caught her doing something bad. What did Mom say after? She said it was a secret, a surprise for you, that Mr. Ryan was helping plan something special, but if we told, it would ruin it. And then she cried and said if you found out, you'd be so mad you'd leave, and it would be our fault. 10 years old, carrying that weight, that fear, that manipulation. I pulled Sophie close again. "It's not your fault. None of this is your fault. You understand me? Nothing that's happening is because of you or Olivia. Are you mad at us?" "At you. Never. I stopped, took a breath. "I'm proud of you for telling me now. That took courage. Is Mom bad? How do you answer that? How do you tell your daughter that her mother is a liar without making her hate the woman who gave birth to her?" "Mom made mistakes," I said finally, "big ones. And we're going to have to figure out what happens next. But you and Olivia, you're safe. I've got you." She nodded against my chest. Behind us, a small voice. "Daddy?" Olivia, 7 years old, standing in her doorway, holding her stuffed rabbit. Her eyes were huge. "Come here, Liv." She ran, crashed into both of us, and I held them. My girls, my real daughters, the only truth I had left. Later, after I'd gotten them to bed, I went to Olivia's room. She'd fallen asleep clutching her rabbit, but her desk lamp was still on. On her desk was a stack of construction paper, drawings. I picked them up. The first one was dated 6 months ago in Olivia's wobbly handwriting. It showed our family. Stick figures holding hands. Me, Jennifer, Sophie, Olivia, everyone smiling. The second one, 3 months later, had a new figure. Mr. Ryan, labeled in careful letters. He was standing next to Jennifer. I was on the other side, still holding Sophie's and Olivia's hands. By drawing 5, Ryan was holding Jennifer's hand. By drawing 10, I wasn't holding anyone's hand. I was off to the side. By drawing 15, dated 2 weeks ago, I wasn't in the picture anymore. Just Jennifer, Ryan, Sophie, Olivia, and a baby. In one drawing, I wasn't there. Just Mom, Ryan, and a baby. And my girls, off to the side, crying. The baby was colored pink. Olivia had drawn tears on Sophie's face. On her own face, too. In the bottom corner, in tiny letters, "My family is sad." I sat on Olivia's bed. She stirred. "Daddy?" "I'm here, sweetheart." "Are you looking at my pictures?" "Yeah, they're beautiful. The sad ones, too." My throat closed. "Especially the sad ones." She sat up, rubbed her eyes. "I didn't want to make you sad, but I had to draw them. Mrs. Patterson says art helps when you have big feelings." Mrs. Patterson, her first grade teacher. "You have big feelings about our family?" Olivia nodded. "Mom has a secret friend. He makes her happy, but he makes you disappear." "Disappear?" "In my drawings, you keep getting smaller, like you're going away." She looked up at me. "Are you going away?" I pulled her onto my lap. She was so small, still my baby, even at 7. "No, I'm right here, and I'm staying." Even though Mom has a secret baby, kids, they see everything, they know everything, and we think we're protecting them by keeping secrets. "Even though," I said, she hugged me. "Good, because Sophie and me need you. You're the only one who comes home." That broke me, quietly, completely. I held my daughter and tried to remember when I'd stopped being enough for Jennifer, when saving strangers had become more important than coming home, when the man in the mirror had turned into someone she could betray. But then I realized, this wasn't about me. This was never about me. The next morning, there was a knock on the door. I opened it. A woman stood there, 30-something, blonde, well-dressed, crying. Behind her was a car, minivan, 2 car seats in the back. "Are you Daniel Cooper?" "Yes." "Is Jennifer here?" "Who are you?" She held up her left hand, wedding ring, gold band, diamond cluster. I'm Ashley Mitchell, Ryan's wife, and I have 2 kids he abandoned for yours. I stared at her. At the ring, at the minivan with the car seats. Ryan Mitchell is married? For 7 years. Ashley's voice was shaking. We have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. He told me he was working extra hours, teaching private clients, saving up for their college funds. He's been lying to me since January. I found the text messages last night. She pulled out her phone, shoved it at me, screenshots, dozens of them. Jennifer, miss you, Ryan. You too. Can't wait for tonight. Jennifer, Daniel's on shift until Friday. We have the house. Ryan, perfect. I'll bring wine. Jennifer, I'm scared. What if he finds out? Ryan, he won't. He's never home anyway. Jennifer, what about your wife? Ryan, Ashley thinks I'm at the gym. She's clueless. Dated September, October, November, and then from December 5th, 2 days before Jennifer went into labor. Ryan, holy shit, it's happening. Jennifer, I'm in labor. Daniel's at work. What do I do? Ryan, play it off. Say you didn't know. He can't prove anything. Jennifer, what if he wants a DNA test? Ryan, so what? Deny everything. I'll back you up. He can't touch us. I looked up from the phone. Ashley was crying harder now. He's been sleeping with your wife for almost a year, and that baby is... Yeah. My voice sounded dead. Yeah, she is. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. He said he was building his business, working late, taking on private clients. It's not your fault. Did you know about them? No, not until 3 days ago. We stood there, 2 people who'd been married to liars, 2 people who'd raised kids and paid mortgages and trusted partners who were texting each other while we worked. What are you going to do? She asked. Get a lawyer, file for custody of my daughters, divorce her. What about you? Same. I already filed. Papers were served this morning. She looked at the house. Is she here? I want to talk to her. She's upstairs. Can I come in? I stepped aside. Jennifer was in the kitchen, feeding the baby. She looked up when we walked in, saw Ashley. Her face went white. Hi, Jennifer, Ashley said. Her voice was cold, sharp, nothing like the crying woman from the doorway. I'm Ashley, Ryan's wife. Remember me? You met me at the neighborhood barbecue last July. You complimented my dress. Jennifer stood up. The baby was in her arms, still sucking on a bottle. Ashley, were you going to tell me? Or were you just going to keep fucking my husband and playing happy family while I raised his kids alone? It's not like that. What's it like then? Explain it to me. Explain how you've been sleeping with my husband for a year. Explain how you're holding his baby right now. Explain how you've been texting him calling me clueless while I packed his lunches and did his laundry and tucked his kids into bed. Jennifer looked at me. Daniel, please, don't. My voice was flat. Don't say my name. Don't ask me for help. You made your choices. Ashley pulled out her phone again, pulled up a photo, showed it to Jennifer. This is Ryan, our wedding day, 7 years ago, and these, she swiped, are our kids. Ethan and Lily, 4 and 2. They ask me every night where Daddy is. What do I tell them? That Daddy left us for the lady next door? Jennifer's lip trembled. I didn't know he was married. Bullshit. Ashley's laugh was bitter. You didn't want to know. You saw what you wanted to see. A hot young trainer who paid attention to you, who made you feel special, who didn't care that you were married with kids because he had his own family to ignore. You don't understand? I understand perfectly. You're a selfish, narcissistic woman who destroyed 2 families because you were bored. She blamed him for being a hero, for saving strangers. Was she ever redeemable? Jennifer's face changed. The tears stopped. The vulnerability vanished. What replaced it was cold, hard. You want to know the truth? Jennifer said. Her voice was different now, sharp, mean. Fine, here's the truth. Daniel is never home, never. He works 80-hour weeks, misses birthdays, misses anniversaries, misses everything. I've been raising Sophie and Olivia alone for years while he plays hero for strangers. I stared at her. I'm a firefighter. That's my job. Your job? She laughed. Your job is supposed to be your family, but you chose them over us every single time. Some kid in a burning building, more important than Sophie's dance recital. Some car accident on the highway, more important than our anniversary dinner. Every time your radio goes off, you run, you leave, and I'm supposed to just wait? So you fucked the neighbor. I found someone who was actually here, someone who saw me, who wanted me, who didn't treat me like an afterthought. You got pregnant with his baby, and you never even noticed, she was yelling now. The baby started crying. I was pregnant for 8 months, Daniel. 8 months. And you never once asked if I was okay. Never once looked at me long enough to see that I was hiding something. You were too busy saving everyone else to save us. Ashley stepped forward. Don't you dare blame him. Don't you dare. My husband lied to me. Your husband tried to save lives. Those aren't the same thing. You don't know anything about our marriage. I know you're holding my husband's baby and blaming your husband for your choices. Ashley turned to me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry you're going through this. You didn't deserve this. She looked at Jennifer one last time. Ryan's moving out today. I'm changing the locks, filing for full custody. And if you try to contact him, I'll file a restraining order. Stay away from my family. She walked out. The door closed. Jennifer and I stood in the kitchen. The baby was wailing now. Jennifer was rocking her, but it wasn't helping. You chose strangers over me, she said. Her voice was quiet, venomous. Every single time. And I realized she believed it. She actually believed that me saving lives was the same as abandoning her. That pulling a child from a fire was choosing strangers over my family. That doing my job, the job that paid our mortgage, that gave us health insurance, that put food on our table, was somehow a betrayal. She blamed him for saving lives. Was she ever redeemable, or was this who she'd always been? My phone rang. Captain Reynolds. Cooper, you there? Yeah. Station, now, we need to talk. I looked at Jennifer. I'm leaving. We'll talk through lawyers. Daniel, I'm taking Sophie and Olivia. Pack them a bag. They're staying with Patricia until I figure this out. You can't take them. Watch me. I walked out of the kitchen, upstairs, knocked on Sophie's door. Pack a bag, sweetheart. You and Olivia are having a sleepover at Mrs. Patricia's. For how long? I don't know yet, but you're safe, I promise. At the station, the entire crew was waiting. Captain Reynolds, Martinez, Johnson, Davis. 8 men who'd worked beside me for years, who'd run into fires with me, who'd trusted me with their lives. Sit, Reynolds said. I sat. We heard, Martinez said, about Jennifer. How? Small town. Patricia's daughter works at the gym. She told her mom. Her mom told my wife. My wife told half the neighborhood. He shook his head. Man, I'm sorry. We're here for you, Johnson said. Whatever you need. Reynolds leaned forward. You need a lawyer? I know a guy. Custody specialist. He's good. You need a place to stay? Davis offered. My guest room's open. You need someone to punch Ryan Mitchell? Martinez grinned. I volunteer. Despite everything, despite the DNA test and the betrayal and the 8 months of lies, I laughed. I might take you up on that last one. Seriously, though, Reynolds said, we protect our own. That's what we do. Jennifer chose to blow up your family. Fine, but you don't face this alone. We've got you. The crew nodded, murmured agreement. I don't know what I did to deserve you guys, I said. You run into fires with us, Martinez said simply. That makes us brothers, and brothers don't leave. The custody hearing was set for February 14th. Valentine's Day. The universe had a sick sense of humor. 3 months had passed since that day in the hospital. 3 months of living in separate spaces. Me at Davis's guest room, then my own apartment once I could afford it. Sophie and Olivia split time between houses, but they were with me most nights. Jennifer didn't fight it. She was too busy with the baby. She'd named her Mia. I tried not to think about it. The lawyer Reynolds recommended was named Thomas Bradford, 60, graying, with eyes that missed nothing. He'd handled divorces for 20 years, specialized in custody cases where infidelity was involved. This should be straightforward, he said at our first meeting. She committed adultery, hid a pregnancy. The baby isn't yours. Any judge will see. Her lawyer's good, I interrupted. Jennifer hired Ellen Rothman. Bradford's eyebrows went up. Rothman, she's expensive. Jennifer's parents are paying. He made a note. Well, Rothman's strategy will be to paint you as an absent father, workaholic, never home, emotionally unavailable. She'll argue that Jennifer made a mistake, but she's still the primary caregiver. I was working, I know, and will prove it. But Cooper, he looked at me seriously. This won't be easy. Rothman's going to make you look bad. She has to. It's her only play. Let her try. Bradford smiled, thin, sharp. That's what I like to hear. Now, let's talk evidence. We had a lot of evidence. Patricia's USB drive with the Ring doorbell footage, 47 visits, all time-stamped, all during my shifts. Jennifer's weight loss journey journal, now evidence exhibit B, every page a documented lie. The hidden ultrasound photo, found taped inside my toolbox in the garage, dated April 18th, 12 weeks. She'd known for 8 months. Gym sign-in log showing 437 overlapping visits with Ryan Mitchell. Text messages between Jennifer and Ryan provided by Ashley Mitchell's lawyer, including the ones where Jennifer called me a hero sarcastically, where Ryan called Ashley clueless, where they planned their affair around my work schedule. The DNA test, probability of paternity, 0.00%. Medical records showing Jennifer had missed 8 pediatric appointments for Sophie and Olivia over the past year. Sophie's cavity, untreated for 6 months. Olivia's asthma checkup, delayed 3 times. All appointments canceled because Jennifer was at the gym. And the drawings. 23 drawings from Olivia's desk, showing our family slowly dissolving. Me getting smaller, disappearing, while Ryan moved in. Bradford looked at everything spread across his conference table. This is good, he said. This is very good. But there's one more thing we need. What? The girls, Sophie and Olivia. We need to know if they'll speak to the judge. Not in open court, in chambers. Just the judge, a child advocate, and them. My stomach dropped. I don't want them in the middle of this. They're already in the middle of it, Daniel. Jennifer made sure of that when she forced them to keep secrets. The question is, do they want to tell their story? I asked them that night. We were at my apartment, small, 2 bedrooms, but it was ours. I'd bought them matching bedspreads, pink for Olivia, purple for Sophie. Stocked the kitchen with their favorite snacks. Made it home. Girls, we need to talk about the court hearing. They looked up from their homework. Sophie's face went serious. Olivia clutched her rabbit. Mr. Bradford, my lawyer. He wants to know if you'd be willing to talk to the judge. Just you, him, and someone whose job is to make sure kids are safe and happy. No mom, no me, just you telling the truth about how you feel. What kind of truth? Sophie asked. Whatever you want to tell him. About our family, about what happened, about what you want for the future. Olivia's lip trembled. Will Mom be mad? Mom won't know what you say. It's private. Sophie took Olivia's hand, looked at me. 10 years old and braver than I'd ever been. Will it help you keep us? My throat closed. Yeah, sweetheart, it might. Then we'll do it. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Not like TV, no jury box, no gallery full of people. Just a judge's bench, 2 tables for lawyers, a few rows of seats for witnesses. Jennifer sat at one table with Ellen Rothman. She'd dressed carefully, conservative dress, minimal makeup, hair pulled back. She looked like a PTA mom. Responsible. Put together. I sat at the other table with Bradford. I'd worn my dress uniform, medals on the chest, badge polished. Reynolds had insisted. Remind them who you are, he'd said. A man who runs into fires. A man who saves lives. The judge entered. Honorable Marcus Webb, 65, black. Reading glasses perched on his nose. He'd been on the bench for 30 years, Bradford told me. Saw everything, trusted nothing. Good morning, Judge Webb said. I've reviewed the filings from both parties. Mrs. Rothman, you may begin. Rothman stood, tall, sharp suit, voice like silk over steel. Your Honor, this case is about a mother fighting to maintain her relationship with her daughters after a marriage fell apart. Yes, Mrs. Cooper made mistakes. Yes, she had an affair. But she is not on trial for adultery. This is a custody hearing, and the question before you is simple. What is in the best interest of Sophie and Olivia Cooper? She clicked a remote. A screen lit up behind her. Photos. Me in my turnout gear. Me at the station. Me at a fire scene, covered in soot. Daniel Cooper is a hero, Rothman said. No one disputes that. He saves lives. He's decorated. He's respected. But, Your Honor, heroism at work doesn't equal fatherhood at home. Mr. Cooper works 80 to 100 hours per week. He's missed birthdays, anniversaries, school plays, Sophie's dance recitals, Olivia's first day of first grade. She paused. Let it sink in. Jennifer Cooper has been the primary caregiver for these girls their entire lives. She's the one who makes breakfast, drives them to school, helps with homework, tucks them in. While Mr. Cooper is out saving strangers, Mrs. Cooper is home, being a mother. Bradford's hand tightened on his pen. Now, Mrs. Cooper made a mistake. She had an affair. She got pregnant. But, Your Honor, people make mistakes when they're lonely, when they're raising children alone, when their spouse is never home. Jennifer Cooper is human, and her humanity, her loneliness, her mistakes, should not result in her losing her daughters. Rothman sat down. Judge Webb looked at Bradford. Mr. Bradford? Bradford stood. No screen, no photos, just him, a stack of papers, and the truth. Your Honor, opposing counsel is correct about one thing. This case is about what's best for Sophie and Olivia Cooper, and what's best for them is not living with a mother who manipulated them, used them, and forced them to keep secrets that damage their mental health. He picked up the journal, pink leather, motivational quote on the cover. This is Jennifer Cooper's weight loss journey journal. Every page documents a lie. Day 47, nausea this morning. Must be the detox smoothie. Except it wasn't detox. It was morning sickness. Mrs. Cooper was 8 weeks pregnant when she wrote that. She knew it, she lied about it, and she kept lying for 32 more weeks. He set it down, picked up the ultrasound photo. This ultrasound is dated April 18th, 8 months before the baby was born. Mrs. Cooper obtained this ultrasound, confirmed her pregnancy, and then hid it in her husband's toolbox, a toolbox he hadn't opened in 2 years because he trusted his wife. She didn't hide it from a stranger, she hid it from her husband, deliberately, calculatedly. Judge Webb leaned forward. Where was this toolbox? In their garage, Your Honor. Mr. Cooper kept his firefighting equipment there. Mrs. Cooper knew he never touched that toolbox. It was the perfect hiding place. Bradford picked up the USB drive. This drive contains security camera footage from a neighbor's Ring doorbell. Over the course of 11 months, it captured Ryan Mitchell, Mrs. Cooper's personal trainer and affair partner, entering the Cooper residence 47 times. Always 30 minutes after Mr. Cooper left for a shift. Always leaving 30 minutes before he returned. The pattern is exact, premeditated, coordinated. He clicked his own remote. The screen lit up. Footage of my truck leaving. Timestamp, 6:47 a.m. Footage of Ryan arriving. Timestamp, 7:02 a.m. Footage of Ryan leaving. Timestamp, 8:15 p.m. Footage of my truck returning. Timestamp, 8:43 a.m. the next morning. This happened 47 times, Bradford said quietly. While Mr. Cooper was working 24 and 48-hour shifts at the fire station, Mrs. Cooper was conducting an affair in their marital home, with their daughters in the house. Rothman shot up. Objection? There's no evidence the children were... I'll allow it, Judge Webb said. Continue, Mr. Bradford. Bradford nodded. Your Honor, I'd like to call our first witness, Patricia Brennan. Patricia took the stand. She looked older, frailer, but her voice was steady. Mrs. Brennan, Bradford said gently, how long have you known the Cooper family? 8 years, since they moved in next door. And would you describe your relationship with them? Close, very close. Daniel calls me his second mother. The girls call me Grandma Pat. Jennifer and I were in book club together. When did you first suspect Mrs. Cooper was pregnant? Patricia's voice trembled. March, early March. I saw her coming back from a run and her shirt rode up, just for a second, but I saw a bump. When I asked if she was expecting, she laughed and said she'd gained a few pounds, was working it off. Did you believe her? No, I'm 62. I've had 3 children. I know what pregnancy looks like. What did you do? I watched, I kept watching, and every week the signs were clearer, the loose clothes, the way she held herself, the canceled plans. She stopped coming to book club in April, said she was too busy with fitness, Jennifer, who loved book club. Did you tell Daniel? Patricia's eyes filled with tears. I tried. I called him multiple times. He was always working, and I kept thinking, what if I'm wrong? What if I accuse her and destroy their marriage over a misunderstanding? When did you know for certain? August. I saw her from my kitchen window. She was in their backyard, hanging laundry. Her shirt blew up in the wind. She was very pregnant. Maybe 6-7 months. I couldn't deny it anymore. And did you tell Daniel then? No. She was crying now. I was a coward. I started saving the security footage instead. I thought if it came out, he'd need proof. People would tell him he was crazy, that we were gossiping. So I saved everything. Every time Ryan Mitchell walked into that house. Every timestamp. I saved it all. Bradford handed her a tissue. Why didn't you tell him? Because I loved him like a son, and I knew it would destroy him. And I was selfish. I didn't want to be the one to do it. Mrs. Brennan, in your opinion, who was the primary caregiver for Sophie and Olivia? Daniel. He cooked their meals when he was home. He helped with homework. He went to their school events. Yes, he missed some because of work, but he was there more than Jennifer. She was always at the gym, always busy with her fitness journey. The girls spent more time with me than with their own mother. Rothman cross-examined, tried to poke holes, but Patricia held steady. When she stepped down, Judge Webb made a note. Bradford called the pediatrician next, Dr. Emily Hassan, mid-40s, professional, carrying a thick file. Dr. Hassan, you've been Sophie and Olivia's pediatrician for how long? 6 years. And can you describe their medical care over the past year? She opened the file. Sophie Cooper has a documented cavity that went untreated for 6 months. Her mother canceled 4 dental appointments. Each time, I have a note that Mrs. Cooper said she was at the gym and couldn't make it. The cavity became infected. Sophie was in significant pain. Bradford turned to the judge. Your Honor, Sophie is 10 years old. She suffered for 6 months because her mother was at the gym. Objection, Rothman said. This is inflammatory. Overruled. Dr. Hassan, continue. Olivia Cooper has asthma, mild, but it requires monitoring. She missed 3 scheduled checkups last year. Again, appointments canceled by Mrs. Cooper. When Olivia finally came in, her inhaler prescription had expired. She'd been without medication for 2 months. Judge Webb took off his glasses. Without her asthma medication? Yes, Your Honor. She had an attack at school. The nurse called 911. Mr. Cooper was on shift. He responded to the call himself. The courtroom went silent. Let me understand, Judge Webb said slowly. Mr. Cooper, as a firefighter, responded to a medical emergency at his daughter's school because his wife had allowed her prescription to lapse. Yes, Your Honor. And where was Mrs. Cooper? Dr. Hassan checked her notes. According to the school's records, they called Mrs. Cooper first. She didn't answer. They called 3 times. Then they called 911. Judge Webb made another note. This one harder, angrier. Bradford entered the text messages next. Projected them on the screen. Jennifer. He'll never know. He's too busy playing hero. Ryan. Your place or mine? Jennifer. Mine. Girls are at school. These texts were sent while Mr. Cooper was at a car accident on I-95, Bradford said. He pulled a family of 4 from an overturned van, made the local news. Mrs. Cooper texted him that night. So proud of you, babe. My hero. Those are her exact words, but hours earlier, she'd texted Ryan Mitchell mocking him for being a hero, for saving lives. Judge Webb read the texts. His jaw tightened. Then the judge asked to see Olivia's drawings. The courtroom went silent. Bradford carried the stack to the bench. 23 pieces of construction paper. Dates on the back in a child's handwriting. Judge Webb flipped through them slowly. His face didn't change, but his hands moved slower with each one. The first drawing. Whole family, everyone smiling. The 10th drawing, Ryan appearing, Daniel still present but smaller. The 15th drawing, Daniel almost gone. The final drawing, Daniel erased. Jennifer, Ryan, baby, Sophie and Olivia off to the side, tears drawn on their faces. Caption in wobbly letters, my family is sad. Judge Webb stared at that last drawing for a full minute. How old is Olivia? He asked quietly. 7, Your Honor, Bradford said. 7 years old. And she's been documenting the dissolution of her family in crayon. He set the drawings down carefully, looked at Jennifer. Mrs. Cooper, did you know your daughter was drawing these? Jennifer stood. Your Honor, children draw all sorts of things. It doesn't mean, did you know? Yes, I knew. And did you speak with her about it? Get her counseling? Address her obvious distress? She seemed fine. She was always fine. Judge Webb's voice went cold. She drew herself crying, Mrs. Cooper. 23 times. She documented her own trauma. And you thought she was fine? Jennifer sat down. After lunch, Bradford requested chambers conference with the girls. Judge Webb agreed. I wasn't allowed in. Neither was Jennifer, just the judge, a child advocate named Maria Santos, and Sophie and Olivia. They were in there for 40 minutes. When they came out, Sophie's eyes were red. Olivia was holding Miss Santos's hand. Judge Webb returned to the bench. He didn't say what they'd discussed, but his face was set. Mr. Bradford, anything else? Yes, Your Honor. The girls wrote letters. With your permission, I'd like to enter them into evidence. Approach. Bradford handed him 2 envelopes. The judge opened them, read silently. Then he read aloud. Sophie's letter first. Dear Judge Webb, my name is Sophie Cooper. I'm 10 years old. My dad is a firefighter. He saves people. Last week he saved a girl my age from a fire. She got to go home to her family. I want to go home too. But home isn't a place. Home is wherever my dad is. Mom said if we told about Mr. Ryan, Dad would leave us like he leaves for fires. But Dad always comes back from fires. He always comes home. Mom is the one who left. She just didn't move out. Please don't take my dad away. He's the only one who stays. Love, Sophie. The courtroom was silent. I heard someone crying, realized it was me. Judge Webb cleared his throat, opened the second letter. Olivia's letter was shorter, the handwriting shakier. Dear Judge, my name is Olivia. I am 7. I love my dad. He reads to me every night when he's home. He makes pancakes. He helps me with math. Mom has a secret baby. I drew pictures about it. I drew my family sad because we are sad. Please let us stay with Dad. He's the only one who sees me. Love, Olivia P.S. I drew you a picture. It's me and Sophie and Dad. We're smiling. Judge Webb pulled out a drawing from the envelope. Simple. 3 stick figures holding hands, all smiling, hearts drawn around them. He stared at it for a long time. Then he said, Mrs. Rothman, anything further? Rothman stood. She looked shaken. No, Your Honor. Mrs. Cooper, would you like to address the court? Jennifer stood. Your Honor, I made mistakes. I know that. But I love my daughters. I've been their mother for 10 years. I've fed them, clothed them, raised them. One mistake shouldn't erase all of that. One mistake? Judge Webb's voice was sharp. Mrs. Cooper, you conducted an affair for 11 months. You hid a pregnancy for 8 months. You forced your daughters to keep secrets. You neglected their medical care. You documented lies in a journal. You allowed your affair partner into your home while your daughters were present. Which one mistake are you referring to? Jennifer's mouth opened, closed. No words came out. Mrs. Cooper, the judge said, I've seen enough. The verdict came down 10 minutes later. After reviewing all evidence and testimony, including private discussions with the minor children, this court finds that it is in the best interest of Sophie and Olivia Cooper to reside primarily with their father, Daniel Cooper. I couldn't breathe. Mrs. Jennifer Cooper is granted supervised visitation every other weekend, with supervision provided by a court-approved third party. Mrs. Cooper will undergo mandatory counseling. She will pay child support according to state guidelines. Mr. Cooper is awarded the marital home and primary physical custody. He looked at Jennifer. Mrs. Cooper, your daughters asked me why you left when you never moved out. That is the most damning thing I've heard in 30 years on this bench. Work on yourself. Become someone your daughters can trust. Until then, you see them under supervision. Bang. Gavel down. It was over. Outside the courthouse, a crowd was waiting. Captain Reynolds, Martinez, Johnson, the entire fire crew. Patricia crying happy tears. Ashley Mitchell with her kids, neighbors, people I'd saved over the years, the family from the van accident, Emma's parents from the house fire, others I didn't even recognize. They started clapping, then cheering. Martinez grabbed me in a hug. You did it, brother. Reynolds gripped my shoulder. Never doubted it. Sophie and Olivia ran to me. I caught them, held them. We were all crying. We get to stay with you? Sophie asked. Yes, sweetheart. You get to stay with me. Forever? Forever. 3 weeks later, Ryan Mitchell's gym posted a termination letter, publicly, on their Facebook page. Effective immediately, Ryan Mitchell is no longer employed at Peak Performance Gym. We have a zero-tolerance policy for employees who engage in inappropriate relationships with clients. We do not hire predators. The post got 3,000 likes. Ryan was evicted from the rental house, moved 2 states away. Ashley got full custody of their kids in her divorce. Her lawyer had used Jennifer's texts as evidence of Ryan's character. Jennifer's parents, who'd been paying for her expensive lawyer, released a statement through their church. They stood for family values and could not support their daughter's choices. They stopped paying Rothman's bills mid-case. Jennifer moved into a small apartment across town, got a job at a call center, saw the girls every other weekend, always with a court-appointed supervisor present. Sophie told me the visits were weird. Olivia said Jennifer cried a lot. I didn't ask more than that. Epilogue. Part 1. 6 months later. The fundraiser was Patricia's idea. The crew wants to do something, she said. For the girls, for you. Let them, Daniel. So I did. The fire station opened its doors on a Saturday. Bounce house for kids, BBQ, raffle, all proceeds going to Sophie and Olivia's college fund. The turnout was massive. Hundreds of people, the entire neighborhood. Families I'd helped over the years. Strangers who'd read about the case in the local paper. They brought donations, toys for the girls, gift cards, checks. Captain Reynolds handed me an envelope at the end of the day. From the crew and the community, for the girls' future. I opened it, looked at the number. $40,000? Captain, it's what you deserve. You run into fires for us. We show up for you. That's how family works. I looked around, at the crew in their dress uniforms, at Patricia setting up a dessert table, at Ashley Mitchell playing with her kids and mine, all 4 of them laughing, at the neighbors who'd finally told the truth, at the strangers who'd become friends, at Sophie and Olivia, faces painted, holding sparklers, smiling bigger than I'd seen in months. If you've found your real family outside of biology, I want to hear your story. Share it below. Someone needs to hear they're not alone. Epilogue. Part 2. Home. That night, we went back to our house. The marital home was ours now. Jennifer had signed it over in the settlement. I had redecorated, painted the girls' rooms their favorite colors, hung new pictures, made it ours. Patricia came over for dinner, spaghetti and meatballs, Sophie's request. We ate at the table, all 4 of us, Patricia at the head, like the grandmother she'd become. After dinner, Olivia asked if she could hang a new drawing on the fridge. Of course, Liv. She ran to get it, came back with construction paper, fresh crayons. The drawing showed all of us, me, Sophie, Olivia, Patricia, Captain Reynolds and the fire crew in the background, Ashley and her kids off to one side, everyone holding hands, everyone smiling. At the top, in careful letters, my real family. I hung it on the fridge with magnets. Sophie hugged my waist. Olivia climbed into my arms. We're home, Sophie said softly. Yeah, baby, we're home. My radio crackled. I kept it on low, always, habit from years at the station. All units, this is dispatch, structure fire, 423 Maple Street, all available units respond. A pause. Cooper, you copy? Sophie looked up at me, worried. I smiled, turned down the volume. Copy, dispatch, I'm off duty tonight, I'm home. Another pause. Then Captain Reynolds' voice, warm, understanding. Copy that, Cooper. Stay home. We've got this one. I turned off the radio. You're not going? Sophie asked. Not tonight. Tonight I'm exactly where I need to be. 3 years ago, I ran into fires, saved strangers, came home to a wife who counted every absence. Now I come home to daughters who count on my presence. That's the difference. Heroes don't leave. Not anymore.